There's usually a saying that when the door opens for you and you enter, you shouldn't shut it against your brother or your sister who is behind you, right? That really makes sense. This story is like the opposite of what this saying actually means. There's this guy, he's a YouTuber like me. His channel basically shares information on how Nigerians can migrate legally to the United Kingdom. That's a good thing. I mean, sharing information to help other people migrate legally, because I mean migration is guaranteed by international laws. I mean legal migration, right? So we heard the news about him, and he's trending actually, that he granted an interview with the BBC. My light is not even happy. He granted an interview with the BBC, and in that interview he said the most unthinkable thing that anyone would say, and Nigerians are running mad. Everyone is pissed off as usual. People are even going to the extreme, going to his page, all of that. Welcome back. My name is Virtue Grace. I'm a travels lifestyle content creator, and sometimes I tell stories sitting down like this. Okay, so welcome. I make that introduction to you. That's if you're coming by for the first time and you're seeing me for the first time. So have you subscribed? No, right? Kindly click subscribe and join the family that I called Vert Loves. Okay, thank you so much for subscribing. Yeah, so this guy, he's a Nigerian. I don't think he's a Nigerian, because Nigerians don't behave the way he has behaved. He's a Ghanaian, right? Because Ghanaians are in the habit of claiming trailblazing, trend-setting, record-breaking Nigerians. When such a person comes in the media, Ghanaians say, oh, that's a Ghanaian. Okay, so this particular guy, I think he's from Kumasi, the Bonwe region of Kumasi in Ghana. Okay, and his name is Yao Emdee, something like that. Yeah, Ghanaians, what do you think? Anyway, jokes aside, yeah, so this guy, like I said, granted an interview, and in that interview he said that Nigerians apply to go study in the United Kingdom because they want to use the study route as a way of migrating into the UK, not necessarily because they want the degree.
Foreign postgraduate students can no longer bring family members with them unless they're studying on specific research programs. The announcement's been made 2 days before official statistics are expected to show net legal migration has hit a record 700,000 this year. Our home editor, Mark Easton, reports.
Lights, a front room in the West Midlands, camera, a YouTuber helping Nigerians come to Britain, and action. Last year, a fifth of international student visas were issued to Nigerians, 120,000 people in total, half of them students, half their dependents. But Emdee believes many are actually coming not for a new qualification, so much as a new life.
So the student thing is not real. It's not like they need the degrees. They need the degree as an access route to come into the country. So a lot of these people get their priorities shifted real fast.
So it's really about getting into the UK.
Exactly.
And
it's
then
not about the
education.
job, it's not really about the education.
This same guy entered the UK, according to information, about 9 months ago through the dependent route, and then here he is, granted interview, talked about how Nigerians move to the UK not necessarily because they are interested in studying or interested in the degree, but because they want to use that as a route to enter the United Kingdom. So I find that very ironic and funny, and to some extent I understand the sentiments of some of the Nigerians that are really mad at him for saying that, because one would argue that he probably only spoke for himself, because maybe that's his motive, and because of that he has assumed that every other person who intends to go study or who applies to go study in the UK, in Nigerians of course, are doing that because they only want to migrate to the UK. Because now let's look at it, these school fees are very, very high. Like, Nigerians pay thousands and thousands of pounds to go study in the UK, okay? And apart from going to study, how Nigerians also contribute to the UK economy is commendable, is immeasurable. And even back home here in Nigeria, there's usually this premium that is placed on people who have degrees abroad. There's just this unwritten code or sentiment that degrees from abroad are probably superior to degrees that are obtained at home. So when you apply for jobs here in Nigeria, for instance, and you have a foreign certificate, there's usually this, some sort of preference that is given to you and all of that. So for that reason, some of the people who go abroad to study go to study in order to obtain these higher premium qualifications, so that they can have competitive advantage over others here in the country. I mean, not to say that the education abroad is not in any way good. I mean, if I have the opportunity, I would also like to study abroad, okay? So I'm not saying that the education system abroad is not good. It's good, it's excellent. A lot of, research institutes, a lot of well-funded and well-equipped faculty of studies and all of that abroad. And the knowledge that people acquire from abroad and bring back home is very, very useful, very, very valid. And I mean, even for Nigerians who go abroad and study and decide to stay back and work, also remit foreign exchange back into the country, and it contributes to the economy. So the benefits are all encompassing. It's ripple effects of people going to study abroad. So you would understand why Nigerians are really mad at this guy. And trust Nigerians to always take their frustration out physically. The Nigerians are people that will not just sit and make threats. Like, let me show you some of the reactions that has greeted this whole interview saga since the story started making the rounds, and what some Nigerians have done. So I didn't know the guy before yesterday. So when I heard about it, I was like, okay, let me go actually verify for myself. So I went on YouTube, because the story is that he's a YouTuber. Some are saying he's a failed YouTuber. Come on, guys. Yeah, so I went to his channel to look at it, and Nigerians were there. Like, the comments in under one of his videos I saw was crazy. I took a screenshot of some. Someone says, "It shall not be well with you. Everything you do for the rest of your life shall be in vain. Happiness will be far from you and your seeds." Hey God, that's too much. "Sorrow will follow you all the days of your life." Amen. That's what someone wrote there. And guys, I feel like this is actually too much, or to the extreme, to curse him in this manner. Agreed, what he said wasn't right, because you cannot generalize something to every Nigerian and say that's their motive. No, because there are so many other countries that other Nigerians have gone to study. Some have returned back. I have a friend who studied in the UK actually, and she came back. So not everyone who has gone abroad to study went there because they wanted to migrate and go live there and not study. My friend is using the certificate now to work here in Nigeria, and she's making a good income out of it. Someone says, why? Just why? A lot of people genuinely want to get that degree. Exactly. Why do you have to ruin chances for others? What's the wickedness for? If the owner of the money agrees to bless you, the owner of the night will not agree. Hey, this one ended with a curse to God. Olofo, Nigerians are always against every other Nigerian. Honestly, because this is just crazy. It didn't even make sense to have granted that interview, except he was speaking for himself. Because the same people you are accusing of wanting to go to UK to study, not because they want a degree, are the same people you constantly make videos on your channel to share information with, to come to the UK. So are you just trying to prey on people's vulnerabilities and make money off of them, and then turn around and tell the British media that this is the intention or the motive of many Nigerians who come to the UK, or of all Nigerians who come to the UK? It doesn't make sense. Guys, please, let's calm down. I know he is regretting all he said and knows he has messed up big time. I know it is very possible that BBC also published incomplete information. Blah blah. I didn't read the complete this thing. And someone has said, "We forgive you in Jesus' name." So a lot of comments that were coming. Someone says, "Bro, your interview just made it harder for your fellow Nigerians to go study in the UK. And who told you Nigerians don't need the degrees? If that was your case, speak for yourself. Don't go blabbing about without thinking. But just so you know, your head is not correct." This comment ended with an insult. Your head is not correct. That is a polite way of saying you are mad. Hey God, someone said clap for yourself. Uchu, what does Uchu mean? Someone drop a comment and tell me. Well done on your interview. Oh, sure. Instead of the insults, please do a good job by reporting his account on all platforms. But you can still insult him, sha. He deserves it. I mean, I saw your interview. Oh, you do well, sir. Now I confirm say na we dey do ourselves. So many comments, like I could go on and on and on and on, sharing some of these comments here. But guys, honestly, this is just crazy, because I don't know how one would have opportunity and then turn around and decide to ruin the whole chances for a whole lot of people who genuinely want this thing to better their lives. And honestly, UK is not the only place you can go study abroad and obtain a good degree. There are other countries as well that you can go study. I mean, most of the times people go and they pay for these things. And I want you to take a listen to this clip.
We could almost have a segment called What is the government up to today in the world of immigration? What is the Secretary of State up to today? Because today the government announced that it will be introducing restrictions to the student visa route that will see student visa applicants prevented from sponsoring their partners and children from joining them or accompanying them to the UK. This has already been seen with undergraduate international students, but it is going to be widened to those that are postgraduate students looking to study in the UK. The government is looking to introduce this restriction in order to reduce net migration, but really it's quite unlikely that it will bring about the reduction in net migration that it hopes. Instead, it is likely to disrupt the higher education sector, as we see international students pay a lot more, much higher fees than UK students in the country. And that is because international students are sometimes seen as the ones subsidizing the fees of British students, and they are very much relied upon by universities in the country. If there is a fall in the number of international students as they find that they are unwelcome or the rules are too restrictive, we will no doubt see universities looking for some sort of flexibility from the government in order to attract international talent. Talent that, as I said, not only has to pay high fees, but must show as part of their application and provide evidence that they are able to financially look after themselves and any family members if they are studying for a postgraduate qualification. If they are unable to look after themselves in the UK for any reason, they are expected to leave. And the government has tried to take steps to attract such talent into the UK by introducing graduate visa routes and, of course, allowing international students to switch into skilled roles or business routes. So this seems a very backward step. I'm sure the fact that many international students are from Nigeria and India has nothing to do with it, and the fact that the Home Secretary is going through a number of public issues does not play a part. But watch this space.
So you see, here is this woman also sharing the sentiment, and rightly so, that these people who come into the country, into the UK, they pay, and to a large extent, because of the higher fees that migrants pay in the UK, they're able to subsidize education for their own citizens and make it better. Now they've decided that, and just in case you didn't hear it, the UK has banned Nigerian students from going into UK with dependents. So if you are going to study in the UK now and you have a husband and children, you can't go with them, or you have a wife and children, you can't go with them, you have to go alone. So you have to know what to do if you decide to go there. You're going to be separated from your family for a period of time, and except you decide to go to other countries that accept dependents to come with you. Okay, back to what I was saying. The high fees that these migrant students pay, to a large extent, subsidize for the education of British citizens, just like this woman has also said, and the invaluable skills that people bring. So now that they've banned Nigerians from bringing dependents into UK, and with the false information that this young man has shared with the British media about Nigerians who intend to study abroad, and I say false because that is not true about the majority of Nigerians who want to go study abroad. People need the degrees, the knowledge, the degrees to better their lives, to better their chances at getting better employment, better pay, and then improving their quality of life in general. So now that he has said this information, we don't know what the future holds for Nigerian students. I don't know if there will be a decline in the number of Nigerians who would want to apply to go study in the UK, and what impact that might have overall on the UK economy or education sector in the near or distant future. Like someone else said, there are several other countries, and I just re-echo that as well, that you can apply to go study, earn that degree, and then return back home to come add value to Nigeria. Okay, so when we talk about these things, it just makes one mad, because our duty bearers have refused to do the needful. Because if the educational system in Nigeria is stable, is secure, such that when you gain admission to study a 4-year course, you know that in 4 years you would graduate, not many people would want to go abroad to go study, because it's even very expensive. You pay even significantly more than you would pay studying in Nigeria. So it's just crazy how some people just yap their mouths everywhere. Like, let me even read some more of the comments that I saw yesterday. Someone said here, you guys should all unfollow this guy. He is pointing to his father's house with his left hand. Yeah. Another person says, hope the fame lasts for you. This will affect you both in the UK and here in Nigeria, and anywhere Nigerians see you. Nigerians hardly forget. Enjoy your 3 minutes fame while it lasts. Honestly, because some Nigerians said, well, he probably granted that interview because he wanted some fame in the British media, because it doesn't make sense. Why are you talking? For what? So yeah, someone says Olori Buruku nie Oloshi Gidi. That's in Yoruba. I can't read that, sorry. You should use your platform to bring good publicity to your country, not be the vector for nonsense. I agree. What you said on that interview was so bad of you. Shouldn't have granted that interview. If you must, you shouldn't have spoken about Nigerians that way. People used to love your channel. I didn't read it to the end. So just a lot. Someone says here, this on Twitter, this is Emdee Tiamiyu on his way to UK in September 2022. He entered the UK with 10 dependent routes on September 2022. Less than 9 months after he entered the UK, he closed the border against his kinsmen and lineage with his mouth. You see, someone said that something about men talking a lot. There are certain things you just don't go talking about, because it doesn't make sense, especially when it does not represent the general opinion or consensus or sentiments of the majority of the people you claim to be speaking for. No one made you a spokesperson, more so when you are out there speaking lies. Someone here wrote to BBC News on Twitter. It said, at BBC News, Nigerians have been made aware of a video showing your interview with one Emdee Tiamiyu, who claimed that Nigerians do not go to the UK because they need the degree. For the avoidance of doubt, your interview has spoken strictly for himself and not for Nigerians. So Nigerians a lot are reacting and trying to rebut what this young man has said to the BBC. But yeah, the information is out there, and like I said, no one knows what the future holds. As it stands now, the UK has banned Nigerians from going to the UK to study with their dependents. So take that information and do with it as you will, or as you may, whatever the correct word is. Yeah, basically that's it. I thought to share what your brother Tiamiyu has said, the brother from Ghana, not from Nigeria. Hey, wahala. Nigerians, why we too dey like show ourselves everywhere like this? The good, the bad, the ugly, every time. Maka why? Sọsọ gịnị? Ṣáàtù yín. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. What do you think? Drop a comment. I like to hear your opinion as well. And if you've not subscribed, remember to click on that subscribe button. When you do, tap on the bell and select all. That way you'll always be the first to know when I post a new video or I do a live stream. Okay, go on and subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribing and share this video. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe, healthy, below abiding. I'm Virtue Grace, the African storyteller. Bye. Mwah.